Give me a hell yeah.
Ooh, you know what time it is. Ooh, you know what time it is.
Bless up. Bless up.
Give me a hell yeah.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show.
We are live!
I lied to you.
What? About what? Oh, the shot's not good? Fix it. How are we doing tonight, Night Chat?
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Oh, that looks great.
Now it does.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what tonight? What we're not going to do,
What?
because it's a Saturday night, we have to be more composed as a group of fans talking about the Sacramento Kings. I don't need the want crowd in here tonight. S. Jordan 23. I don't think I've ever seen you in my life. Only
We've seen
3 games ahead of the 10 seed. Yeah, yes, guys, the West is fragile this year.
Be nice to each other,
No,
Both of you.
I mean, if you're going to have that mindset, well, yeah, only 3 games out of the 10th
Then
spot.
give up now.
The 10th spot's at 500. Like, that's not bad. And also, they're 3.5 out of number 2. So, I mean, you could look at it both ways. This is going to be a dogfight. It's not going to be easy. If you went in thinking, they're the number 3 seed, that means they're great. Breaking news, these teams are jumping left and right. All right? And like, all of a sudden, Minnesota, that looked dead last week, they were in 11th. They're now in 6th. Why? Because the West has a ton of parity. So get used to it. Don't come in here and they're falling apart as if they had like a 60-win season or something. Like, what are we talking? Like, on pace for one? What are we doing?
Hey, people can vent.
Oh, I'm going to vent tonight because there's definitely some things I'm not happy with.
Well, I would
but,
say people can vent
We're
and
going to
then-
have some perspective
Yes.
too, Morgan Reagan.
Perspective is great. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to be mad. I will say, I was annoyed.
I was definitely annoyed tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's literally how I described it coming in the post game. I was like, Kings fall 117, 110. Annoying.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's just like, I'm just going to be myself. I don't know.
And you know what? S Jordan 23. You were a new person. I haven't seen in here.
Good.
So I jumped you a little bit. All right.
Good.
I think I'm feeling it a little bit tonight
Be
too.
nice.
Okay. Because I was in Stockton tonight and saw the Stockton Kings gag a game. Okay. They were up Morgan. They were up 119, 115 with like 20 seconds to go and lost the game. And I drove back to Sacramento, listened to the end of the game, and I got back to the Deuce and Mo podcast studios, watched the entire Kings game until you got here, and I'm just like, what a night.
Dude, you watched a lot of Kings basketball, but I wish you watched a lot more good Kings basketball. Then that's when it's tough. But at least you got to call like a fun ending for a different team.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, perspective, everybody.
One way.
Perspective.
You want to hear my final call yet?
Yeah, I do. That'll be fun.
Guys, hopefully we don't get flagged for copyright. So the end of the game, can I just tell you, so it's 119, 115, and I know you guys probably don't care. I'm only telling you this because
I care.
I called the game and
I
it was
wanna
in
hear
Stockton today, the Stockton Kings. So Stockton Kings, by the way, for people who don't know, they came in the night with like the best record in the G League at 11-2. They're up 119, 115. Memphis misses a shot. Their 5'9" point guard comes in for the offensive rebound. They hit a three. Okay, 119, 118, timeout. Like, we're good. We got the lead. Just inbound. I remember on the broadcast, I'm like, well, the biggest thing if you're Memphis is you got to try to at least steal before you foul. Like, don't foul right away. Stockton gets a 5-second violation. Turnover. So then, all of a sudden, they've got the ball at the end of the game. Let's make sure I have this all set up right, so you guys can see what happened and also hear how I called it. All right, it's end of the game. Oh, this is painful. This is so painful. Let me unmute. Yep. Okay.
Gilliard. Nearly turned over. Bean has it. The drive. Bean. McDermott with the jam with 6.5. Memphis up. Burke attacking. Burke misses the shot, and Memphis comes back to win the game.
Oh.
And that looked like a big crowd in Stockton.
Oh, it was a big crowd. It was a big crowd tonight. Yeah, it was painful.
Like
tonight.
you could hear everyone the sigh of like disappointment.
When I was so excited, I was Burke gonna hit, and Trey Burke got a great look. Missed the shot. Brutal. Brutal. How's the chat doing besides that? Thank you,
chat?
Bad News Sour Grapes. Thank you. I need that love. Yeah, Deonte Burton. It sounds like he's getting a 10-day contract with the Sacramento Kings. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Cool.
Let's give some love to the people watching us live because we are on way later than usual.
And it's a Saturday night.
It's a Saturday night. I got some. Hey.
Cheers to all of you.
Yeah. Why is my headset so loud?
Is it just? Oh.
That was an aggressive like cheers.
Yeah, we could have broke some shit right there. Okay. Tastes like losing.
No, it tastes that's a winning.
Okay.
Taste. All right, let's give some love to the people watching us live who are here despite the fact that their team lost about 2 hours ago in tough fashion to start a road trip. We got to give some love to Jake, to Jose, and Bad News Sour Grapes. Shout out to Kessie, who's always on Twitch. He just resubscribed there. We also have... This is from way earlier. I'm reading messages. My bad. Pizza Iowa. Tin Trung Lamb is in the building with Steve Watson. Don't forget about Braden Morgan and 3D Vision.
What's up?
You can. Digital Henry and Ollie. What's up, Ollie? Digital Henry. S. Jordan 23. Mark at Sack and Drunk on LaCroix. Lee Adams is in the building with Michael, Vaughn, and Satnam. Don't forget about Miguel and loyal Sack Kings fan. What is up, Torch K and KO Spakes X Dragon Chicken? I always mess that up. Gerardo and Keaton. Free from Aggie. Sorry, Morgan.
You can do it.
They're bouncing so fast. Senior Informo, Bill S, Eric Kang. These kids in Sack down Cujo Mac. Over, under, and Leezy. Oh, Leezy's actually here for once. Good to see him in the building with over, under, and Big Blue. Appreciate you guys being here. If you're here and you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Helps our channel grow. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channels. We're inching closer and closer to 10,000 subs.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
God, I have rashes everywhere right now.
Are they contagious?
Ah!
All right, Deuce and Mo coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce.
Time out. I'm sorry. I just noticed something.
What?
Cujo Max says, I'm in the shower.
What?
Just so random. Just to let us know he is in
Wait,
the
wait,
shower.
You stop.
I stopped because it just caught me off guard when I saw I'm in the shower. So he is in the shower.
Do you listen to shit in the shower?
I do listen to
So
things.
why did that catch you so off guard right there, huh?
Because he's in the shower watching us, one.
I'm going to put my
And
rash juice all
messaging.
over
How do you
you.
message with wet hands?
Do you change a podcast in the shower?
Oh, for sure.
So how do you do that with wet hands?
Okay. You know,
I mean, you're
I don't know why
asking-
you're attacking me. I was just sorry. All right, do some more coming down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Up late on a Saturday night as the Kings started their 7-game road trip in Minnesota, and it did not get off to a great start. The Kings tried to make it a game late. De'Aaron Fox woke up in the fourth quarter, had 21 of his 29 points in that fourth quarter, but it was Ant-Man down the stretch hitting daggers in the faces of Kings defenders, and Minnesota stays hot. All of a sudden, they're propelled up into the 6th spot in the Western Conference. This is without Cats. They beat they beat the Kings tonight 117-110. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How are you, Mo?
I'm okay.
This loss got you down a little bit?
No, I just like I feel it. I honestly,
Yeah, I want honesty.
you really want honesty?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just to be truly honest with everyone.
Oh, no.
You know, women, the cycle. Like, for me, though,
Are you in Cramp City right now?
Cramp City, Bloat City, rashes are forming. I, for some reason, I had zero sense of fashion tonight. I looked like a giant doily in my dress, and like everything was just off, right? So, on top of all of that going on, like, I'll just say to people out there, like, especially men, you try and do that in work. It is just sometimes so much more added stuff, right? And then the mental fatigue and all these different things when you're thinking about other things. I just didn't love my performance, and I didn't love the Kings' performance tonight. Just going to be honest.
You know, Mo, I appreciate the honesty.
Really?
I do have a question if you don't.
What's your question?
I mean, I guess it's more of an observation or statement in a way.
Are you going to piss me off?
I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess my question would be, I mean, if it happens every month,
Yeah.
do you think at some point you just kind of get used to it?
What? You're not serious. Wait, no. Wait, there's not even an ounce of you that's serious, right? Like you're joking.
Just having fun.
If you are serious, you need to take some women's health courses.
Morgan, come on. You know it was a joke.
I know it was a good one.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
funny.
I got you.
Yeah,
Made
no,
you laugh.
it's funny. You know, it's
You
not
gotta
funny.
stop itching though. This is disgusting. You're like itching. There's what else is
Help
going on? See, this is why you listen, win or lose, to a night chat, because you never know where it's going to go. As far as the actual Kings game, Morgan Reagan,
Yeah.
this one is frustrating. You lose 117-110. Minnesota did play last night. They got a nice win against Memphis. It's a team that's playing some pretty good basketball right now. Coming into tonight, they'd what was blah, blah, blah?
It was like
They won 10 of 14.
Yeah, the last 15 games, it was like 11-4, I believe.
Yeah.
I wish I had the exact, I'm pretty
No.
sure that's what it was. But yeah, they've been playing basketball together and understanding how to get wins together, right?
The problem tonight is, of course, D'Angelo Russell. I still have nightmares of him coming to Sacramento and absolutely destroying the Kings when he was a member of the Brooklyn Nets. He comes out absolutely on fire to start this game in the first quarter, knocking down all of his shots. 4-4 from 3. I went back and watched all of them.
I know.
He had a rise and fire over Keegan on a switch in transition. That was just tough. Transition play. Keegan's on him. He just knocked down the shot. Next one, he got an open corner look. They were so focused on the paint. Gobert did a good job kind of shielding off Fox, and Fox was way late to get there to close out.
Yeah.
You leave D'Angelo Russell open, he's going to make you pay. The next one, Sabonis on the outlet, turnover. Anthony Edwards did a great job getting his hands up, and then Edwards found a wide open D'Angelo Russell for 3. Next one, this is where the communication breakdowns
There's too
happen.
many, but
No,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
some of them are like, oh, that's annoying. Like turnover leads to an open 3 in transition. You get the cross matches. This one was frustrating because Keegan Murray is on him, but he's not on him. You know what I mean? He's playing off.
Like
him,
he's
playing a
just
little
there
soft.
in his space.
Right. So they run a little dribble handoff, and there's no communication between Herter and Murray. It's like, Keegan, you either need to fight and be up on him, or, hey, Herter, there's got to be a switch. Instead, they let the guy, I forget who it might have been McDaniels, dribble handoff. They're both kind of shielded off, and then like kind of a half-hearted contest comes, and Russell knocks down the shot. The communication tonight, there were so many communication breakdowns on that it was frustrating. And then, I'm sorry, you just got to play these guys tighter, all right? I need you guys, make them put the ball on the floor and drive and trust that your help's going to be behind you. Because guys just, if you're just going to go one-on-one, kind of play off D'Angelo Russell, hand up, he can make that shot. He practices this shot all the time with defense like that.
But
you
even
have to be better.
But even if you understand your personnel, you studied up, you did your homework, you know what type of defense you need to play. The guy already hit how many threes on you at one? Let's just say after the third 3, you should already have such a different mentality when you're going to be defending him. Okay, shit, I'm not going to let him get the ball. I'm going to deny. Okay, on a dribble handoff, I'm going to get up in his jersey and be even more physical. Like that adjustment, that in-game adjustment needs to be automatic. It doesn't need to be after a timeout, Mike Brown chews you out, and whatever. It doesn't need to be after the half, after you get to regroup yourself in the locker room. That needs to happen as a player, just from the mentality standpoint of being like, oh yeah, I got to change things up if we want to make him miss that shot.
So the first quarter got off to a terrible start. I did like how Sabonis came out aggressive. He was looking for his, which he needs to do more often. Can't be having games where he gets 10 field goal attempts. That he's got to come out more aggressive. I did like the lift that first stint when KZ and Davion came in the game. It was like, okay, like defending the pick and roll a little better. Davion's getting in the guys. One of the first plays I saw when Davion comes in the game, Edwards goes to post him up.
Yeah.
Davion rips it away.
Did a great job. He had like a few defensive plays like that throughout this game.
Then I noted another play in the first quarter, Morgan. Anthony Edwards had the easiest jam of his life. It was on a pick and roll with D'Angelo Russell. Terrible miscommunication. HB and Fox do not communicate at all. And you have 3 guys. Naz Reid is the other screener up there, right?
Yeah.
3 guys all staring at Russell, leaving a straight line for Anthony Edwards to get the ball back and dunk it, because the weak side came over late. Fox was kind of playing in behind after. But those are the things that we can't have communication breakdowns and pick and roll coverages. Like, you guys have to talk. And these are the things that, if the Kings are going to find ways to win when the offense isn't clicking, like tonight they're missing some shots.
Go.
These are the plays that stick out to you, because I think everyone tonight's like, well, they missed shots tonight. They for sure missed some shots tonight, but if they play respectable defense, they only lost by 7 points. You still have a chance to win the game if you play respectable defense.
You don't even need to be this great defense, right? It's just like Deuce is saying, the simple things, the being locked in and communicating correctly, or being locked in and rotating over in a timely manner. It's just those little things as an individual, you can do so much better, even if someone isn't communicating with you, or you can get a teammate going. It just didn't feel like people were locked in and engaged from the start in this game. Obviously, I know we'll talk about De'Aaron Fox and what he did in that fourth quarter, but that has a lot to do with, again, why are you turning it on there? Why are you responding to their tone instead of setting the tone?
Well, and we'll get to that because I want to go in order tonight.
Absolutely. No. And I didn't mean to do that.
Just say sorry and we'll move on.
I'm so
Thank you. So at the end of the first, it was 29-21. Minnesota was on top. Sacramento could not have had a worse start offensively from a shooting perspective. They were 6 of 22. They were 1 of 8 from 3. Meanwhile, Minnesota was 7 of 13 just from 3 in the quarter, including Russell, who was 4 of 4. The way they started the second quarter was way better. They start the second quarter, and they had a pretty good second quarter. They outscored Minnesota 38-28 in the second quarter, ended up taking a halftime lead, and they got it going, and I thought a couple of key things happened. They got some dunk. They were aggressive, especially once Gobert was out, whatever. But they started the second quarter with 3 dunks in a row on 3 straight offensive possessions.
Weren't they all 3 Mezzi dunks?
No, Monk had the first one, and then Metu had the last 2. And that Metu jam on Gobert.
Oh, my God.
Metu yammed it on Gobert's face.
That's how he did it.
That was nasty.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was cool seeing Monk connect with him as well, just making some nice passes, being the playmaker, really setting the tone with the energy right away.
One of the things I liked in this quarter that they did well, they ran some more pick and rolls. Put Gobert in the pick and roll. Make him come out and defend. And when they did that tonight, they actually got some good looks. Anytime that Gobert was patrolling the middle like he usually does. He's so long, right? Good luck. The Kings would not attack him at all. I mean, how passive they were in those situations. Even when they got the paint touches, there was no threat to the basket. It was clear. When I saw Harrison Barnes drive and get into the paint, he was passing the ball. De'Aaron Fox, he wasn't going to be a threat. He's going to circle out, try to shoot a fadeaway jumper. Sabonis trying to pump fake. There was one play I noted in the second quarter, Morgan, where HB it's dealing with going at Gobert, and he's doing a pump fake. I don't know why you're pump faking Rudy Gobert.
He's not going to jump.
What? He doesn't need to jump. You're 6'8". He's 7 whatever with I think, is it 9-foot wingspan? Something like that. 20-foot wingspan?
Yes,
20-foot wingspan. If you're going to do this, you need to go at his chest. Westbrook said it years ago when he was with the Rockets or with the Thunder when they would play Utah. He's going straight through his chest. Do not be doing pump fakes, okay? Sabonis did the same thing. When Sabonis got some looks, it was the footwork. It was showing off his post moves that got that. Don't be going with pump fakes on Rudy Gobert. Go at his chest. This Kings team not only needs to play more physical defensively, getting into guys, they have to be more physical offensively in those type of situations.
And I think when Deuce is saying go at his chest, he's not acting like, it's such a simple concept, this giant man in there. He's going to disrupt things no matter what. Even if he's not blocking shots, he's going to change up an offensive plan with just his presence in the paint. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a certain strategy you can still have to break down his presence in the key, right? It doesn't matter whether it's just with your physicality going into his chest or making sure that you're getting him 2 steps over. So you're getting your big, a nice little jumper, a 5-footer, whatever it may be. There's just different ways you have to adjust your game. And I just don't think they have figured out how to do a great job of adjusting their offensive game when it's tough to get into the paint, right?
Yeah.
And it's not simple, yet again, it is a simple concept.
It's a mindset too.
Yeah.
It's be aggressive. Another play that I wrote down from that second quarter, and I'm curious to get your perspective on this.
Yeah.
So HB is guarding Gobert, deep post position. We know Gobert is not much of a post threat, but what he is like, hey, I've got HB on me. He's got deep position. Here's my thing. Lyles came over way too late on the double team.
Okay.
Why? Harrison Barnes cannot guard Gobert in this situation. the double team needs to come faster.
Yeah.
Make Gobert a passer. Make Gobert think and make a decision.
Yes. Disrupt his game and his thought process.
Once Gobert's turning to the basket and going up with his move, it's too late. It's too late. Come hard on that double team. And I'm not saying most times you're not going to ever double team Gobert in the post because it's like he's not a post player. He's not really looking for that. But in that situation, he is because Harrison Barnes is on him. This is attention to detail. It's knowing your personnel. It's making sure, oh, wait, HB needs some help. I'm going there to help him now because Gobert can't make a pass to save his life.
Yeah, and if you're going to double, make sure the right person is doubling, right? Not the person that's guarding Ant, not the person that's guarding D'Angelo Russell. Like, it's got to be your homework and your game plan going into this game. It didn't look like it was done. It didn't look like it was executed. Now, the Kings did not play this team this season, right?
Sure,
like this was their first game this season. So it's like a real test going up against them for the first time. You know what they're capable of. You watch film on them. You know what you should do. So hopefully, too, these adjustments are going to be made by Monday.
People in the chat saying, Coach Deuce is telling us some stuff. Look, I'm just offering my perspective watching the game. The basketball mind's in full mode right now. Ball is life.
Wow. I'm not going to lie. I do appreciate your notes and your breakdown because sometimes watching it just live and quick, and then you have to go talk about it at the half, and then post game, you coming back and really watching it and breaking down with some of these notes. It's absolutely beautiful. Coach Deuce here.
Next note.
Please.
Because I was paying attention to the Russell threes. You know, I had someone in our Discord, one of my guys, Dave, who's always quick to jump on Fox, going, Fox is getting cooked by Russell. And I'm like, well, not really. But Russell had a monster night. This play was frustrating. Russell knocks down another three. How did he get it? Why is he getting these looks? I thought one guy who came in and tried to make life more challenging in this game was Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell was a dog out there tonight. He was playing him tight. Screener comes. There's guys are switching left and right. Davion notices that weak side corner is open. He's got to go out there and contest. So Monk has to come out when that pass is made back to Russell to come out and close out and prevent him from knocking down a shot. You saw the play too. It was one of the first plays we talked about when you showed up tonight.
Yeah.
Monk's closeout was not good enough in that situation.
And again, it's just like understanding the personnel that's on the floor. What would you rather have D'Angelo Russell do in that moment after what he's been doing all game? You'd probably rather have him put the ball on the floor, have a mid-range shot and or take it in to the paint. You know, you can hopefully have your help there, depend on the other guys to clean the mess up. Instead, you're closing out slowly. You're not even aggressively closing out on someone who is just on fire from deep. It was frustrating to see, like those moments, like you just have to be able to turn it on in those moments, be like, oh shit, yeah, I know exactly who that is and I know exactly how I need to play this. Like we've seen these guys run out past guys on closeouts and it's been frustrating at times. You're like, why are you biting? This guy isn't going to make this. But when it's D'Angelo Russell after making 5 threes,
chase him off the line.
Yep.
Because he's in rhythm now. I want him to put it on the floor and maybe settle or maybe turn the ball over. He is turnover prone sometimes. So let's see what else he can do besides just catching and shooting. He's not going to hesitate. He did not there, especially off a weak closeout. He knocked down the shot. I noted a couple other plays in that first half. I love Davion brought in energy tonight. I felt like not only defensively, we're talking about the play with Edwards, we talk about even just rotating on defense, communicating. He had a strong take to the cup, not only in the first half, he had another one in the second half we'll talk about, but I love seeing that. Next thing, Sabonis got called for a travel. An example I brought up earlier. Gobert is on him. There's a lot, congestion down there.
Yeah.
He's pump faking to death. He travels. Again, you're big, Sabonis. I need you
strong.
to play. You're strong, man. Go at this guy's chest.
You tell him.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want that physicality. You know what he wants you to do? He wants you to overthink it. He wants you. Part of Gobert's success in the NBA is
he makes people think twice.
He makes you think.
And how could you not, right? I mean, that's the value that he adds with just being in the game.
Exactly. And then the Kings really got it going because they had success in the pick and roll. That's what they did better when he was more away from the basket in pick and roll coverage, and they were able to get Sabonis some looks. Metu, that was good. At the half, the Kings led by 2, 59-57, which is great.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards only had 8 points at the half, and you're like, okay, what's going to happen here? We go to the third quarter, and it was another bad offensive quarter for the Kings. They were outscored 33-21. They shot 7 of 21 in that third quarter. They were just 3 for 11 from 3. The starters gave the Kings just 9 points in the quarter. In fact, Fox, Barnes, and Herter were 0 for 13 in the third. And then Ant-Man got it going.
Yeah, he sure did get it going, because in that whole second half, D'Angelo Russell only scored 2 points, right? So whatever the point of emphasis was to slow him down, or, sometimes guys, they're just not going to be that hot of shooting an entire game. It worked. But then you forgot about the other guy, Ant-Man, a guy who the night before was clutch against Memphis.
He's on a tear right now.
He really is. He's just a fantastic player. I mean, he is, and sometimes he's going to get his, but you just wish sometimes that you could.
Bless you.
Thanks. When it comes to the physicality, right? Like that's how you disrupt good players.
Who was the most physical with him?
Davion Mitchell?
Your
Who?
6
Or
foot
not?
point guard Davion Mitchell.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would say I agree with that, but I feel like Davion Mitchell is that with everyone.
No, for sure. I'm just saying that's the issue too. And we mentioned Edwards having 8 points at the half. He finishes the game with 34. He cooked them in the second half. He had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He did have 6 turnovers as well. He's a really good I think he's a star player. I'm in love with the guy. I think he's the face of that franchise. I have some T-Wolves thoughts I'm going to save for a little bit from now, because they need to pick a direction, and I have their direction.
Okay.
I thought Davion did some nice things. He got it going, but Davion in that third quarter took an offensive foul.
That was great.
Then he's guarding Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man forced into a tough shot. He makes it. He shot over Davion Mitchell, but Davion played great defense. The next play after that, Davion has Noel guarding him. And Noel he can't get by Noel. It's like, geez, he can't cross him up. Davion was like, I'm not giving up. He keeps going. And he takes him all the way to the basket, looking like a running back, took him to the cup. It was such a nice move.
Yeah, he has some nice little handles on him, and he's really improved the way that he's able to utilize those handles, right? And really get someone going one way to go the other. I know we keep talking about, it needs to work on his shot. If you can find ways at that size to finish at the rack, and or create a play out of it, then keep doing that. Keep being dominant with that. But yeah, it's great to see when he has the type of offensive game.
The chat just exploded, by the way, because they're like, what's that audio in the background? I'm going, what's going on? Nick was coughing in the background because he put himself in the night chat feed. I had him unmuted from the last time we were on. These are the moments that I'm like, I'm done.
Was he doing that the whole time?
No, not the whole time. The last probably minute and a half. So just to be clear, when you're listening to the audio later and they're like, what is that noise in the background? Like coffee, like what is some dude wheezing in the background? That is Coach Nick, who put himself in our night chat lobby in Discord and just was like, yeah, I'm just going to wait here. We literally have lobby.
He knows the rules.
Yeah, he has put him back in the waiting room. There's a thing that says waiting room. He puts himself in the night chat and then has himself unmuted. That was, oh my God.
I'm so sorry for not seeing that, guys.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nope. Can't be mad at Coach Nick.
Namaste.
There we go.
Namaste. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, he got cooking. Anthony Edwards did. Anthony Edwards just looks special to me. I'm like, who are you who on this roster can guard him? Like, good luck. The other guy I noted too, Naz Reid.
Get at it. Let's go.
Morgan, if you watched Naz Reid tonight
I'm a Naz Reid guy.
And did not circle his name and go, yeah, can we get him on the Kings, please?
I was telling my boss next to me, I was like, that's the guy you got to look at. And he's really? He's like, but he's big and no rebounds. He was in for like 7 minutes. I was like, but look, 9 points. He had like 9 points in 7 minutes. And just right there, it was like, let him go. Like,
he plays tough.
Yes.
He's long. He gets after it. He had 14 points. He had 2 rebounds on 6 of 9 shooting, and he played 13 minutes tonight. Yeah, it's not perfect. I don't know that you're going to be running the offense through him, but get him going and pick and rolls. That move he had tonight, Morgan, where when was this? In the fourth quarter? I want to make sure. That time he had the dunk. Oh, it was in the fourth quarter. I'm jumping ahead. He gets the ball. Lyles is on him. He does a little in and out dribble. Goes all the way to the basket for the nasty jam. That was sick. But in that third quarter at the end, he was playing bully ball. Then Metu comes out. And he didn't even give a shot fake, really. He put the ball up a little bit as if like, oh, I'm thinking about shooting it. Metu goes flying by him. Just undisciplined. I'm jumping out to contest. It's like the guy wasn't even in a shooting motion. Like, you got to be disciplined here. It goes to what we always talk about with this team. It's like they either don't close out or they close out like insanely.
No balance,
jumping up in the air. And then it's like, well, no, like you need a hard close out. But you can't be flying by the guy.
Yeah.
Because then he just took it easy to the basket.
Just a little bit more discipline. But yeah, looking at some of Naz Reid's moves, some of his plays, the guy there's so much mobility for him as this like girthy dude, right? He's a big dude. He can move. His footwork is nice. He's efficient in the amount of time that he's playing coming off the bench. That's what you want off your bench.
Yes.
That's what you want off your bench.
So at the end of the third, Monk scored. Good thing because he cut it to single digits.
Yes.
So it was a nice play.
To finish it off.
So the Kings go down 90-81 headed into the fourth quarter. And I felt like watching, because I watched last night, I know you did too, the Minnesota-Memphis game. I was like, this kind of feels similar to that. Like, felt like, Memphis was kind of hanging around, but Minnesota just looked like the better team. Fourth quarter comes. And I just felt like it was the first time where the Kings played at least more aggressively. Fox went into like turbo mode.
He did, but he does that every fourth quarter.
No, but it looked different.
Uh-huh.
I know he had 21 points in the fourth quarter tonight.
What
it was
looked
incredible.
different?
His energy.
Yeah.
He had the most energy ever, and it was at the end of the game. My point is, he needed to be more impactful in quarters 1 through 3. And it just looked, the team, like even Sabonis, I noted it down, like he got physical. It was early fourth quarter. He's in the post. He shouldered Gobert. Gobert goes kind of flying. Sabonis scores it. It's 95-87 at that moment. Fox was outstanding. He looked like an all-star in that fourth quarter. It was fun to watch. He was getting to his spots, hitting the big three, getting to the basket, mid-range. He was kind of doing everything offensively. He was carrying the team. But it's like too little, too late. I love the 21 points. I just wish I saw some more sprinkled in throughout the game. That aggressiveness, I don't have fear of Gobert in this situation. And I didn't see that in quarters 1 through 3 from Sacramento.
Because it wasn't there.
But why?
I couldn't tell you, because you couldn't blame it on being tired or fatigued legs, right? They weren't the team that was playing a second night of a back-to-back. It just really felt like they weren't focused and locked in. And I don't know what that has to do. Like I don't know what caused that. A flight? No, like they've been doing this all season long, right? So no, it's not that. But at the same time, whatever it was for them that turned it on later in that game, it is frustrating to see, because you're like, you're capable of doing this for an entire game. Like, De'Aaron almost looked sluggish before that fourth quarter, which was strange, because I hadn't seen that from him for a while, unless it was like, oh, he's gassed because he played an entire game.
Right. And even Katie was mentioning that on the broadcast. Yeah, his shots are short tonight. He looks like he's a little tired tonight. Fourth quarter comes, it's like he's turning on the Jets. I'm like, did they give him a jetpack for that fourth quarter? Like, did they get a booster? Like, what is happening? What?
A jet? Like, what are you, a dad? Dad joke 101? Did they get him a jetpack? He went on the way to the basket. No, he was just locked in, like in that fourth. He felt it. And like you said,
My whole point
the physicality that was
the
there.
whole point to the jetpack thing I'm bringing up is the fact that don't snap at me. See, you're all patchiness and what you detailed
Cut
early in the podcast
me
is
off.
coming to light. Yeah, because
What?
Shut your
Yeah,
mouth.
no.
Shut-
I don't think you
Shut up. Shut up. You just criticized me calling me dad joke. My whole point I was trying to illustrate was this guy looked totally gassed in the first 3 quarters, and in the fourth he looks better than ever. And I was wondering
Jetpack
why.
engage.
My God.
You want to take that back?
No, I don't.
Really? That was kind of mean.
What to say? Shut up.
Well, yeah, and that. Yes, actually. There was like 3 things there that were actually kind of mean.
I'm going to say sorry.
Thank you. You said it. Don't even say anything else. All right, going back to the jetpack and De'Aaron Fox, we're just going to catch that. Stop there. You said sorry. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't think we need to give a shit about what it was anymore. I feel like, too, tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like you're really frustrated from tonight's game. And I'm saying that in the sense of I felt really annoyed about tonight's game, but I go, look, they hadn't played this game before they haven't played this team this season yet. So it's a different type of matchup. Now, how they respond on Monday is where it really matters to me. It's not a back-to-back. You know what you need to do against this team. It's not like they're all of a sudden going to throw Cat in there, right? Cat's not ready to play yet. And even if
I wish he was.
Even if he was, what would that do to their team dynamics right now?
So first of all, I don't feel like I'm that frustrated. It's because I'm pointing out some of the mistakes from tonight.
No,
or what?
I think like the being not confused, but being like, okay, maybe it is confused. Like, why didn't they start the game like this? You know, why didn't we get that type of physicality from Sabonis and De'Aaron?
But that's to me, I can deal with things like losses when they just miss shots, and it's like they're getting good shots, they're missing it.
Yeah.
What I don't like is like, hey, you played, and I admire you keep fighting. Like that's a good quality to have. But when you talk about how fragile this race is in the Western
Because it's
Conference,
very fragile.
and you know you're in the 3 seed now, but we all know you could fall fast, you can move up fast. Like Minnesota's starting to move up now. You got to be locked in, and I think these games against Minnesota are important too because we're talking about tiebreaker things with this, right? You may see this team down the road. I want you to be engaged, and although I can like what I saw with some of the things in the fourth quarter, too many defensive breakdowns, not physical enough defensively, and not physical enough offensively. And so when I see it in the fourth quarter, it's frustrating because it's like it shouldn't take that, especially coming off the heels of what just happened at home against Toronto.
Yeah.
You've had a couple of days off
because
too.
how many times can we say like, oh, these type of games happen? I felt very disappointed in the Toronto game, but I also didn't feel like, oh, these type of games happen, especially when you're trying to be the team that isn't going to have those type of games in these important times, right? And Matt Barnes was on the show tonight, and we were talking about how like this part of the season, teams really figure themselves out. Like Minnesota starting to string together some good basketball for their squad, or even just a style of basketball that's working for them that's translating into W's. You're seeing it with the Clippers, who have won 5 straight now, you know, and are climbing up the Western Conference standings. There are teams all across the NBA, and this was something that I had been worried about from the beginning of the season when I said, okay, Kings, I can't just say an automatic playoff spot. And even right now, it's not because of how necessarily the Kings are playing. It's more how other teams, especially in the Western Conference, getting healthy and are starting to play and figure themselves out.
But with this game specifically, it was there for the taking. Like we mentioned all these negative things. Kings didn't shoot well. They were 9 of 33 from 3. They missed 9 free throws tonight, and they lost by 7. And that's with Minnesota shooting 17 of 37 from three, 52%. Like pretty crazy numbers for Minnesota, and you were still in the game. In fact, at the end, it looked like it was out of reach, and then Russell got that technical. Barnes misses the free throw.
Mm-hmm.
They have an 8-second violation.
Oh my God.
Then the Kings had a turnover. Like Minnesota was literally trying to, hey, do you want the game? Here you go. You want the game? You want the game? And then Edwards had that nasty
but
three.
even that Edwards nasty three, there's like 20 seconds on the clock. It down 4. I think it was down 4. And I was just like, why aren't we either getting up?
There was that's the thing.
Yeah.
It was Keegan 1-0, and Keegan stayed in front of him, but it was a contestant. It's
No urgency.
This guy's on fire right now. Like, throw another body at him. It's like when Luka gets going, you throw another guy at him. Get the ball out of his
If you're
hands.
not going to throw another body at him, have your guy overplay him in that moment, right? Have Keegan overplay and get handsy and get physical in that moment. See what you can get away with without fouling. Right?
Yeah.
Pull a little PJ Tucker. That's what he does all game, every game.
PJ Tucker was awesome tonight.
That's
today on
funny
Jokic,
that I'm talking about that too, because that's
the second half. They put him on Jokic, and man, he did work.
He fouls all game.
Yeah.
So then he sets the tone like, this is the way I play defense, and you're not going to call it all game long. Like that's literally what the vet does.
So the Kings end up losing this game 117-110. They are still 27-21. Minnesota now 27-25 on the season. These two teams play again on Monday night in Minnesota. A couple of takeaways. We just recap the whole game here. I think the guy that jumped out to me a lot tonight with his play was Davion Mitchell. And we talked about his defense and how impactful he was. And then we talked about how the Kings struggled to get stops sometimes tonight. Davion Mitchell only played 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Davion tonight was aggressive. He also had 5 assists. He had 3 rebounds. He was doing great things defensively. You need him on Russell? Okay, fine. You need to pressure Anthony Edwards? He'll do that. He played 1 minute in the fourth quarter. And I just think Davion's a great example of a guy that he needs to play more. And that means you're going to have to sacrifice someone's minutes.
So I was asking Matt about this in the game after the game too. I was like, I love Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Love. But I can criticize his rotations.
Oh, and by the way, it doesn't matter who the coach is. We criticize rotations.
Well, what I will
Because
tell you.
that's just what fans do.
What I will tell you, though, there's been coaches in the past where I'm like, I'm not really criticizing their rotations because I'm like, there was nothing great enough about the roster to be like, oh man, this guy has to play, or you got to do this instead. There wasn't enough of that, right? Where now you're seeing guys that have stood out that either deserve to be rewarded, that it's shocking when he doesn't trust someone, blah, 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 whatever. KZ Okpala goes into this game super early, plays 3.5, 4 minutes, to be out there as a defender, has a terrible corner 3.
He had a terrible floater too.
Yeah. And I feel bad, but he just hasn't been what I'm sure they wanted him to be, whatever. So then you also see Rashawn Holmes go in for a minute or whatever it was at the end of a quarter. And you're just going, okay, so you're not feeling him either. No TD again. But then going to your whole point about Davion Mitchell, in those big moments and you're seeing him feeling it, why isn't there a little bit of trust for him and his ability to give you something on both ends of the floor, even if it isn't an outside shot? There was other things that he was still doing, even with just a nice crossover and creating something.
Is there a way we could give Davion some sort of surgery to make him 6'8"?
Yes, there is.
That'd be great. We just make him longer.
It's so gross, but there is that.
Okay, I don't want to hear that's gross.
Really?
That's gross.
No, it's
yeah.
real.
I mean, look, I even think tonight when I'm going over all the defensive mistakes, some of these things, the good news about it, they're fixable. We're not just talking about, oh man, you just can't guard a guy because you're beat or there's effort. And I think so many times when we talk about things with defense, especially just in basketball conversation, and I think basketball conversation, especially nationally, can get lazy. I heard it today on ABC when they're talking about the Kings or whatever team they're talking about. You compare it to how football is talked about. You watch a football breakdown, they got tape out. They're going super in detail about, hey, zone blocking and this guy, A gap, all this stuff. we don't do that enough in basketball. And I think so many times we just go, oh, man, they play bad defense, bad effort. And it's like, I don't even think it was bad effort tonight. I think it was poor communication, not being totally locked in at times. You got to be locked in. And some of it, too, is the Kings don't have all this great defensive personnel either, and there's going to be bad matchups. Someone like Anthony Edwards, sometimes there's not much you can do with him. The guy came into this game, the last 4 games, averaging 34 a night. What did he get tonight? 34.
And that goes for a lot of teams too, right? Like other teams are going to have these difficulties on these star players in this league. I think when we were talking about on our other show, we had Chris Biederman on, and he was talking about how an offense like this for the Sacramento Kings, even if teams do their homework and adjust, there's going to be times that this elite offense still does things, executes things because they're so good at cutting without the basketball, or they're so good with their timing off a screen. And I think for the Kings, like when you're defending teams and you're defending some of these players that play at the elite level, they're still going to get theirs, but you have to do your homework enough to know, okay, what do they do so great that there's a way, there's a strategy, something to slow them down. Oh, being physical gets in their head. Okay, play mind games with them. Okay, we got to utilize some of that. Like whatever it takes, sometimes you just got to go in that direction.
Lee Adams is bringing up, hey, Keegan turned several drives away. Watch how many times a player will pass when Keegan is squared up. You'd be surprised. No, Keegan, you could tell, has the makings of being a pretty strong defensive player. You know, Kyle Anderson got him a couple of times because he's slow-mo. He gets you and some moves sometimes, and he's got some length. But, no, I think Keegan does a pretty solid job. There's some mismatches sometimes, but he even had a couple of nice plays on Anthony Edwards. And it's like, yeah, good job, man. You stayed in front of him, forced him into a tough shot. A lot of the stuff with the Kings, to me, is like it's the details. It's talking is the biggest thing. Switching, pick and roll coverage, all of that. Those things really matter. And then playing with a little more physicality.
Yeah.
Like Davion, I know we always bring him up as an example. He gets into guys. Like he is on them. He's bumping them. He's making, you got to feel him.
And he's capable of doing it without fouling because obviously he's so good when it comes to his footwork, his IQ. Like, I mean, what he's worked on to move laterally with someone without fouling is absolutely incredible. I get it. Not every guy is going to do that, but can you strive to be that so you can land upon something that's closer?
So, a couple of my big takeaways. I'd like to see more Davion. I want more pick and roll against Minnesota on Monday with Gobert in the game.
Okay.
Get him out. Let Sabonis get some easier looks. And then when you attack Gobert, you do it with some physicality. Get him in the chest, lower that shoulder, use your body, use your size, use your strength.
And if you shove him in that pick and roll, like look what happened those few great plays when Mezzi was down by the basket, had that lob threat, right? No, you know what I mean? You don't always just have to like drop a little bounce pass to whoever's rolling. Like let someone be that lob threat, because when Gobert comes over to, a foot or whatever, there's no one else there rotating over and help.
CJ brings up a great point. If Fox played like he did in the fourth quarter all the time, he'd have 84 points.
That's a genius, smart.
It's that
great
simple,
point.
guys. It's that simple.
Yep.
Hey, make sure if you're in the chat, by the way, hit the thumbs up button, please. Saturday night, 10:30 at night. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. Cujo says he just got out of the shower. Man, you've been there for like 45 minutes.
That's a lot of water, Cujo.
Yeah, man.
Sure it wasn't a bath? God.
A couple other things real fast about this game.
Yeah.
Big picture stuff with Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is their guy. This team is kind of fun. I think Kyle Anderson's been a nice pickup for them. I know the Kings had real interest in trying to get Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
They had discussions with him in free agency trying to get him to Sacramento. He's been really nice. Jaden McDaniels is an impact guy. Give you 15 and 8 tonight. Russell's been playing better. Naz Reid's energy, all that. I look at this team and go, this is working now. And the problem now is what happens when Cat gets back. The Cat Gobert thing doesn't look like it works to me.
It doesn't.
It did not work when we saw it. Cat hasn't played since late November. There's no timetable on his return either. And I think with this group, you're going, all right, Anthony Edwards is all of a sudden looking like the guy that we have seen before. He is playing free. This group is playing free. Tim Connolly made a big mistake by getting Gobert and then giving Cat the extension. It doesn't work. I know it's been talked about in internet circles forever. I'd be shopping Cat, try to get Trae Young.
Here's why I think Cat still has, obviously, he has so much value, right? Like, especially when it comes to being able to stretch the floor, being a big that can do some damage underneath. But one of his problems, and in my opinion, I think other people talk about this as well, is like, is he a champion? And it's not like, oh, have you been to a finals? Have you had a finals appearance, right? Or what you can do in the postseason. No, like, you see him on a squad and he has the reputation of that fake tough guy. I don't feel like dumping all over Cat because I think he does some great things on the floor. But I think when you look at his mentality as a player, it is really important to think, is that what I want to build my team around? Is that what I want leading this squad? I think you know what your future is in Minnesota, and that's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, and you're pretty much stuck with Gobert at this point. So you might as well get the most out of him, and he still is impactful. I mean, you saw it tonight. He was impactful defensively, although flawed, for sure. But the Cat thing is, like, he is under contract. Could you move him in a different deal and improve this team? I just think Anthony Edwards is the guy. He has that mentality that you're talking about. He has it. And then he's got the shot making. He's got the personality. I think he has everything you need to be a star player on a good team.
What were you saying about Trae Young?
Well, I was just suggesting if, like, there's been buzz about Trae Young and, like, hey, you want a good reset? Like, trade to Minnesota and Cat goes to join DeJounte Murray in Atlanta. Fresh start for both. You know, you get. But I don't even know if that would work. That was just something that's been thrown.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're Minnesota, I mean, wow, how sad is that? Like, oh, I wouldn't want Trae Young. I think another phenomenal player.
But that's the thing. I would just say this: you can move Cat. I would move Cat. I'm not saying that the deadline or something, but like in the future, I would consider moving it. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
When Cat comes back, whenever that is, let's say it's post All-Star break or in March, and this team's trying to make a playoff run, it's not going to go well when he gets back. It is going to ruin what they have going right now.
What if Minnesota, what if, like, I haven't heard anything like this. What if they could sell Cat at the trade deadline, because then a team, like, you're selling low technically, and so buyer, what?
If that happened, it would be shocking.
Absolutely.
A deal of that magnitude.
It would be shocking. No. I mean, they were weird enough to put Gobert next to Cat. It was in the offseason. They still did it.
The trade deadline's in like 8 days. Something like a deal like that materializing that fast, very unlikely.
Very unlikely. I was just saying. I'm not acting like I have insight on it or anything.
That's a good point. Apparently, Cat can't be traded until the summer because of his max extension.
Thank you.
So, no,
okay.
It literally can't happen.
Yeah. White Owl
so
blunt. Thank
you.
you.
Say sorry to White Owl.
No, you say sorry for not knowing that right away when I was saying that could even be a possibility.
No, I'm not going to say sorry.
You should.
All right, let's check in with Coach Nick, who you probably heard coughing in the background earlier because I guess he was here. Nick, what?
What's up, Deuce and Mo? How are you?
Can I be honest with you, Nick?
Yes.
Are
you okay?
What's wrong with your throat? And show your face.
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
Nick, you're not okay.
You
What's
sound terrible,
happening?
bro. You had strep throat like 2 weeks ago. Hello?
Oh. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, Nick, a couple of things. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I am a little mad at you right now.
Oh.
Okay. And the reason being is because you know the rules. Do not put yourself in the night chat. And then you come in the chat and you're just coughing in the background while we're trying to do a show. And the chat has to tell me, hey, Nick is coughing in the background. There's noise. He's wheezing in the background. You cannot put yourself in night chat like that.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, I forgive you now. Now, let's get to the real issue. Why do you still sound sick?
No, I'm okay.
Nick.
No.
You're
So
not,
like,
you're not. You sound really sick right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay.
What's wrong with your throat, Nick? You do not sound like Nick.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God. Have you been to the doctor again?
No.
Okay, you need to go to the
Yeah.
You need to make a doctor's appointment and get
Yes.
that checked because you do not sound good. And I don't even know why you're talking to us right now because your throat's not good.
Do not come to a Kings game until your throat is better.
Well, the Kings aren't here until February 10th.
That's a great point too. God, I can't remember anything.
Yeah. The the Kings lost tonight, and we lost, but we got to play better.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nick, we do,
Yeah.
and you know what? You need to get better. Okay, so why not rest your throat, rest your voice? Why not, and get some sleep dreams? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sleep dreams, Nick.
All right.
But we love you, man. All right.
Sleep dreams, Nick.
Sleep dreams.
Bye.
Aw.
Morgan, he sounds
I
awful.
didn't. I know. I felt bad. I didn't want him to keep talking.
I know.
I was like, I feel like we are going to take your voice away forever.
It sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Nick, you got to get better, my man. Oh my god.
Hot tea, honey.
Yeah. Emergency room immediately. I mean, let's go to our guy Leezy. What's up, Leezy?
Yo, Deuce and Mo, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
Doing better than Coach Nick, apparently. Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. It's a little weird. It's Saturday night and Leezy's not blacked out. This is the first of. Just kidding, man. What's up?
Oh, okay, Mr. Drinking wine and having a seltzer at the same time.
No, I am not. I'm drinking a LaCroix or a Kirkland sparkling water. It's not,
It's sparkling, all right.
Okay, I promise you I'm not drinking a seltzer with wine. I'm not trash.
Not yet. The night is young, Deuce.
All right.
And Mo.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
What's up, Leezy?
Hey, I just wanted to call in and try to cheer you guys up, man. You know, the Kings are going to have some losses here and there. You guys got to remember, this is their first year really being good. You know, they're still putting everything together. And this isn't a surprise that their defense is kind of lacking. We've said this all year. That's why all year we've been talking about, are you going to trade for Kuzma or whoever people like out there, Mason Plumlee, that's the guy I like, or whoever. So it's not really surprising. And D'Angelo Russell, he's always been a Kings killer. So I don't know why everyone's so surprised.
So
it's okay.
a couple of things. I'm not surprised. I don't think Morgan's surprised. And I'm not like upset at all. I was just pointing out some of the attention to detail stuff today because I felt like the game was there for the taking, despite the fact that they didn't play well. Like, yeah, they weren't knocking down shots. That's fine. But to lose by 7, and they were just simple mistakes that if you just make a couple more free throws, do a couple of better things defensively, you win this game. And so I think they'll be fine. Like, big picture wise, you're right. Like, I looked at this 7-game road trip, and Morgan's like, why do you even say this? But I'm like, I think they can go 5-2. I thought you could split Minnesota, and maybe you lose one other game like in New Orleans, but win. You beat San Antonio, beat the Pacers, and beat Houston twice. You come back 5-2 off that road trip, you're back home at 32-22. That's 10 games above 500. That's great. But yeah, I thought tonight was just more of like a missed opportunity than anything.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know that was their schedule. Yeah, that's pretty doable. Like you said, the Rockets aren't very good. We all know that. One point you mentioned earlier is the free throw shooting. That's been a problem all year. I don't know why that's such an issue for them. But yeah, 5-2 is definitely doable. I'm gonna have to put that in the little YouTube member section. You know, so I can win a hoodie. You know, it's pretty nice.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, I don't think it's like sad over here or anything. I think it's more just on the level of like, oh, that was annoying when opportunities were still there, or just the way that they played and weren't focused. You know, I can't even think of other words. I feel like I have so much freaking brain fog that I can barely talk, but truly it was just one of those things. Starting a road trip like that is frustrating because it's like, are you setting the tone for the rest of your road trip? Or what type of game are you going to have Monday? Just respond. Now, if they don't respond well Monday, if they get an ugly win, whatever, you pull out the win. But it's still going to be that mindset's going to be lingering of like, oh, is this what type of team they really are? Like, how are they supposed to beat all these good teams going forward, and especially in a time when it's the second half of the season and teams are starting to figure themselves out.
Yeah, well, it's okay to have brain fog. You and
Thanks.
Deuce are constantly working 24/7,
No.
morning chat, night chat, afternoon chat, everything. So it's okay.
Quality, not quantity, though. So there's no brain fog allowed. You got to stay healthy, stay sharp.
Yes. So, quick question. So, wait, who are they playing Monday? Are they
Minnesota again? You got Minnesota, which is great. You can
know
adjust.
what? I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say it again. Beam lit, confirmed.
Oh,
I'm calling it in. I'm confirming it again. Last time I confirmed it, they won. I'm calling it again. I think they're gonna learn from their mistakes, make some adjustments, and get things right.
Oh, I agree. I think they're winning on Monday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
All righty, Deuce-mo. Well, sleep dreams. You guys have a good one.
Sleep dreams, Leezy.
Yeah, I don't want this to come across like I'm like super down on the team now just because they lost a game. I just went over, like we were talking about this specific game. When I take a step back, it's like, no, this loss doesn't go, oh my God, they're done. This sucks. But it's like, no, like they didn't play great tonight and they still had a chance to win in the game. They got to clean some stuff up and respond. I mean, you're going to lose games. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like I do think in Sacramento, because of the past, gets a little too high off wins, for sure, too high. People, 3 seed, oh my God. And then it gets too low. They lose a game. It's like, oh my God. Like, I mean, Memphis has lost 5 in a row.
There's
now.
been more frustrating games than tonight.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And that's why I keep using the word annoying, because of where they lost the game and just in some of these moments where you're like, you're better than that.
Shout out to Rochi, who donated $5, by the way, and said, we just need to clone Davion into different heights and our defensive problems will be solved.
There you go.
Good point.
Genius.
Hey, what's up, Jamie?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing much. I just want to say, I know it was a while ago, but it was great to meet you guys on Monday. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. You did cut out a little bit just now, but for those who didn't really hear what he said, we did meet Jamie at the game on Monday, first time. He made sure to come on down near the court and was like, Deuce, and we went up and said, what's up?
He only said Deuce. Yes, correct.
Yeah, he only really cared about meeting me.
Yeah, he was like, oh, cool, Morgan.
Yeah, and Morgan, we took a picture with him. You never posted in our Discord out.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, you just didn't see it.
She did. I saw it. I saw it.
Thank you, Jamie.
I did not see it.
Wow. Whenever I'm in our Discord. What?
I had to go way far. I was looking at the Discord during the game, and I was trying to find it, and I had to go way far because all the people are chatting during the game.
See?
Did you save it, and are you getting it framed?
I definitely saved it to my camera roll right now. I'll definitely get it framed for sure though.
Or do you think you should get it like
No.
and blown up to be like almost take up an entire wall in your room?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Oh, I don't think your parents would approve.
No, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
My parents absolutely love you guys.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's cool, man. That's good to know. Well, I appreciate your support, man. Anything jump out to you about tonight's game that you want to hit on?
Well, we came out really good in the second quarter.
Yeah.
But the second half just it fell out of our hands in the second half.
Yeah, it was.
We just gotta finish the game.
That was it, and it's like, or finish the game, and how about start the game with that same type of intensity that they brought in that fourth quarter, or at least with the way that they were being aggressive and getting to the paint. So, yeah, just changing the mentality, I think, will help.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie. Well, good catching up, man. Enjoy football tomorrow.
Thank you. Go Eagles.
Whoa.
What a heel.
Whoa, that is such a
What
heel
a heel.
move. You want to hear some Mike Brown postgame?
Yeah.
We've not heard this yet, so I figured, you know what? Let's hear some Mike Brown after the game talking about this Kings
D'Lo
loss.
had a terrific game. He just doesn't feel us at all, and somehow, some way, we have to come to these games with a mindset that we're going to make guys feel us. We're going to put pressure on the ball, and we're not going to close short, especially after a guy hits 2 threes, back to back. Our intensity, and awareness level has to go up. And it hasn't. And then, in the second half, again, you could say we're playing good defense because we're in front of the ball, but Anthony Edwards, huge game, a huge game, and he was just raising up over us and knocking down shots and shooting threes, and somehow, some way, we're going to have to find somebody that can defend these guys. Because for one guy to go 14 for 21, another guy to go 8 for 14, but more importantly, 12 for 16 from the three-point line, it's not a good recipe right now. And on top of that, everybody we're playing is shooting in the 50s. And I know the shooting percentages and the scoring has gone up, but our offense is good, but we're going to have to generate some stops throughout the course of the game, especially at the beginning of the game, in order to give ourselves a chance. We're going to have to win some games, sometimes 110 to 102 or something like that. Everything that we've done when we won, it's been 135 to 128. That is not sustainable. That's fool's gold. Now, I'm not talking bad about our offense, because our offense, I like it, but that is fool's gold if we think as a team and organization that we're going to just beat teams by outscoring them. It's not going to happen, especially come playoff time. So somehow, some way, I have to find combinations of players that can score and that are willing to get stops for us, especially throughout the meat of the game, so guys just don't feel comfortable coming and playing and shooting like they did and shooting as a 53% as a team for the game. And we got Naz Reid coming off the bench. He flat out kicked our ass. We couldn't stay in front of him to save our life. And having that type of impact really helped him get over the hump when we had him on the ropes a little bit. So take your hat off to Chris Finch and their whole staff and their team, because they handed it to us from the beginning, starting with D'Lo.
I know you spoke about the defense, but what happened offensively, do you think, in the first and third quarters?
To me, it's just the evolution of the game of basketball. We're a good offensive team, but it's not. We're not going to score 130, 125. I mean, 45%. That's decent. 110 points. That's decent. Not great, but sometimes you're not going to. Kevin went 4 for 12 from the floor. HB was 1 for 7 from the floor. And they were pretty good shots. I mean, during the course of the game, you're like, oh, man, good shot. Oh, man, I thought Trey, his 2 shots were good shots, But they're not going to always go in. And so if they're not going to always go in, whether or not they always go in, we got to hang our hat a little bit on the defense end of the floor instead of just thinking that we're going to be able to outscore guys. And right now, we're not getting it done defensively. So that, to me, that side of the ball is impacting us more than our offense because, again, I feel like we had great looks. We took care of the ball. We got to the free throw line. We just didn't make shots tonight, But on those nights, you can't give up 53% from the floor and 12 of 16 threes from their 2 best players and think that you're going to win the game on the road.
It's exactly what we were saying. But I love how he words it, how he puts it, and it's the attention to detail, the awareness in those moments when it's D'Lo knocking down all those threes or whoever it is that's on fire. Naz Reid coming in with his intensity off the bench. Okay, who's going to slow him down? Like, why aren't we reacting to these things happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I a lot of the stuff we covered early in the podcast, and it's true. It's being locked in, man. This team has the firepower to score a lot of points, and they will. They've been the number 1 offensive team in basketball this year, but you're not going to have it all the time. You're just not. It's just that's the way it goes. Sometimes you're going to go through stretches in the long NBA season where you're just missing shots. You get good looks, you miss shots, but you gotta you have to play with an edge. You have to play with some physicality, and that would go in a long, long way. When Mike Brown said, I got to find some people that can do that, Where are those
That's where I was
people?
like, a whole bunch of two-way guys.
I mean, they don't have, you have two-way guys, Namias
I'm
Keita
not
and Keon Ellis.
two-way guys.
Oh, this is fun. Morgan's trying to think, and I'm in a fog. I'm in a fog.
Literally.
I'm in a fog. The fog is really messing
Just
me
like
up
a
right
combo
now.
guard. Like a combo guard. Like a combo player, right?
That can play both sides, a two-way player?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had it right. I thought you were talking about a two-way contract guy.
I know you did, but I was trying to get more of like someone who can really play on both ends of the floor.
But I'm talking about who's on the roster right now that could do that. Does it mean more of Davion Mitchell time? Does that mean you tried Terrence Davis?
Oh, it's not even on the roster. You just even look around the league and you go, yeah, you want a whole bunch of those guys, but who plays to your defensive standards? And maybe it's not even to necessarily the standards of it fundamentally. It's like if you have that sort of IQ, like for example, like a Kevin Huerter, you might not be the greatest defender and known for your defense, but at the same time, because of your high IQ, because of your size, in what you're capable of doing on that end of the floor, like he's talking about that type of player. I can leave you in there because you can also hit shots on the other end.
Well, the Kings apparently are making an additional roster move. This from our buddy Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee, who's on this road trip covering the Kings with the Sacramento Bee. He says the Kings do not plan to re-sign P.J. Dozier, whose 10-day contract expired today. They plan on adding Deonte Burton from the G League. Stockton Kings on a 10-day contract beginning January 30th. He'll be on the roster in time for Monday's game in Minnesota. With the P.J. Dozier situation for Sacramento, he was on his second 10-day contract. It expired, and you can only sign players per league rules to 2 10-day contracts. After that, you either have to let them go or you have to give them a guaranteed deal for the rest of the season. So apparently the Kings, I mean, I don't know how you even judge P.J. Dozier. He didn't really play. I don't know.
Just in practices, they would be able to go
But
off
even
sure.
they're not practicing a ton at this point.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of time to practice. So they elect to go with another 10-day route and sign Deonte Burton, a guy that we have gotten the chance to see in Stockton. 6'4", super good guy, super vocal. He's long, 6'11" wingspan, supreme athlete. He had a dunk on Thursday night, Morgan.
God.
That was disgusting.
His
it was awesome.
Footwork, spin into the dunk. But yeah,
it surprised me though, because I have not seen anything from him in Stockton that has blown me away to go, oh, he's a 10-day contract guy. And again, I'm not an NBA personnel guy, but he's been fine in Stockton. He's had some good moments.
I think you look at him as a type of guy that has that dog mentality, right? And I'm not saying that's what is going to lead him in a position in the NBA, but maybe it's going to reward him with a 10-day contract like this. What does that really mean? Look what they did with PJ Dozier, right? You don't know if that even means anything. Maybe they're just trying out something else in their mind of having that type of guy with the mentality like that.
I do think part of this is they have that roster spot, right?
Yeah.
They want to leave that flexibility for the next week and a half up until the trade deadline. Because if they make a trade, it leaves the flexibility of having the potential to add multiple players, and you don't have to cut anyone to make it happen. So I think that open roster spot means something. And for them, if they don't make any trades that add players that would fill up that roster spot, they can elect to go, all right, we got looks at a couple of guys on 10 days. We looked at PJ Dozier. We looked at Deonte Burton. We've kept our eye on this guy. Oh, there's a buyout candidate. There's optionality for this group to add to this team. And maybe it's a situation they go, all right, well, trade deadline passed. It went, you know what? Let's bring back PJ Dozier and we're going to sign him to a guarantee through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to leave that spot open. I was surprised they went with Burton in this spot, but it's also could be a case of, hey, he's been a good guy. Like, let's reward the guy a little bit with a 10-day.
Yeah.
Give him some extra cash, and let's see if he can provide us a little spark just in practices now that we're on this road trip.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I've enjoyed his presence since he's come back from an injury early on before the regular season of the Stockton Kings season, G League season started.
Yeah.
And ever since he's come, he's been that spark for this Stockton Kings team. We've seen them have success since he's been healthy. And either way, I'm glad that he's getting rewarded. He's great.
So January 30th would be the first day of the 10-day. I mean, that pretty much takes you up to the trade deadline,
Wow.
February 9th. So that allows them to take a look at one more guy on a 10-day, have him in their building on this road trip, and then trade deadline happens.
Makes sense.
So
yeah.
Trade deadline's going to be here fast.
Dude, I'm so excited. I hope there's fireworks like Sam Amick told us the other day.
Baby, there's a fire.
You're a firework. Because baby, you're
I
a
don't
firework.
I don't know the song. I'm sorry.
You don't know lyrics to many songs, but you always go "Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na." Like you'll just start singing a song with just like da-na-na.
Because I don't listen to music a lot.
Yeah, you do.
No, I listen to music, but I don't listen.
I
You
see.
hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
It's on in the background. I'm like listening.
That's why you gotta listen to classical, dude. It just like
No,
gets
I
your
like-
brain going.
And
It's
sometimes I
great.
find a song I like, and I go back. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna really listen to that, and I'll like read the lyrics.
Wow. I listen to spa music, jazz, like instrumental and classical.
You're so cool, man.
I'm just a deep
No,
thinker.
you're super cool.
How cool? Tell me.
So cool. Anything else you want to hit tonight?
No, we hit a lot of Kings. There's NBA topics that I would like to save for next week as we're just free flowing and talking a lot more NBA. But there's some good stuff going around. Just got teams climbing up in the Western Conference.
Embiid might have
This situation.
injected himself into the MVP conversation. Dude, he was awesome tonight. He had a step, or today, it was earlier today. One, they got back into that game. It was just fun to see what the Sixers were able to do. Like, Embiid clinches it with a 3 over Jokic. It was nasty.
Embiid.
You know he got fined $25,000 for doing the DX suck
For the suck it?
Yeah, $25K.
Well, it's the same thing when they do the big balls thing or whatever.
Like
big old balls.
But honestly, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I don't.
He didn't do it to a play. He did it toward the crowd at home. It was a fun thing. I don't understand why those things are so bad for the league. Out of everything that transpires during a game, it's like, you cannot taunt, you cannot do the crotch chop. It's like, it's not that big of a deal, guys.
No.
Guess what? Hey, your properties, your Bleacher Report, your partners, they all shared it. They all got millions of views. It's good for the game. People like it.
What if people are flipping off the crowd? Is that a little different
well,
to you?
I feel like maybe
Is that like universal? Like,
I mean, I support that.
no?
I support it, but no, you should not do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deuce is not encouraging this bad behavior.
Triple H, Leezy said, offered to pay the fine too.
Oh,
funny.
really?
That'd be really
That
funny.
is
if they did.
cool.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, hours after win. We're going to be back live on Monday night following Kings T-Wolves.
Let's go.
We'll also be live Monday morning, 11 a.m. on Sacktown Sports. If you guys didn't know and you're just finding out about this, we launched a daily show that is exclusively on Sacktown Sports in Sacramento. Go to youtube.com/SacktownSports1140. You can follow us there. We're on Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. But the podcast is ours. Night Chat, ours. And we'll be live after every single game.
Let's go.
We love you guys so much, but we got to go.
Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday night. We'll see you guys later.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.